I'm sure after the renovation you still need to sell the locks, right? In 1 minute, revealing how unsafe renovation keys really are. Renovation keys are the ones given to workers during the renovation. Once the renovation is completed, workers using these keys can no longer unlock and enter. But that's not necessarily true. These are the commonly seen A-grade and C-grade locks on the market. A-grade locks are actually just ordinary single-row pin tumbler locks, the principle of which we have discussed before. An A-level lock uses a ruler-shaped key and comes with 3 types of keys. A key is the construction key, B key is the master key, and C key is used to invalidate the construction key. The C key is a dimple lock key with a curved groove, and it has only 2 types of keys. Key A is the construction key, and key B is the master key. Although the theft-proof levels of the 2 locks differ, the principle of the construction key is basically the same. First, let's take a look at the A-level lock, which is a pin tumbler lock. Its main body consists of the casing and the lock cylinder, each having cylindrical pin chambers. Within the chambers of the lock cylinder, there is a row of pins of varying lengths called bottom pins. The chambers in the casing also contain a row of cylindrical pins pushed by springs, called top pins. But at this time, the upper pin is inserted into the lock cylinder, making it unable to turn and open the lock. When the correct key is inserted, the key raises the lower pin, and the junction between the lower pin and the upper pin is exactly at the shear line between the shell and the lock cylinder. At this point, the lock cylinder can be turned, driving the bolt to unlock. And the renovation key usually adds a small steel ball between the last set of upper and lower pins of the locker. When the master key is inserted, the steel ball is precisely pushed into the outer casing, allowing the lock to open. When you want to deactivate the construction key, you use the C key, which differs from the master key only in the grooves on both sides at the front end. When the C key is inserted, the steel ball is pushed into the outer casing, and when the key is turned, the steel ball falls into the groove of the key. When the key is withdrawn, the steel ball is taken into the groove inside the lock. At this point, the interface of the 2 steel pins at the very front of the renovation key no longer aligns with the cut line between the shell and the lock cylinder, making it unable to unlock.
As long
But
as
people
you know
who know this and
ability.
are not careful can easily convert the renovation key back to the main key and thereby open your home store.
And
the
CG
principle of the lock's renovation key is basically the same, except the lower pins of the lock head are replaced with metal plates, and the upper pins are replaced with long pins. When locking, the long pins block the lock head and prevent it from opening. When the correct key is inserted, the grooves on the metal plates align, allowing the upper long pins to drop into the grooves. The top of the long pin aligns with the casing and the head of the lock, enabling it to unlock. The construction key and the master key have the exact same shape, except the front of the key has an additional notch. Inside the lock head, there is a tumbler with a steel ball. When the construction key is inserted, the notch avoids the lower tumbler, allowing the lock head to turn and open. When the master key is inserted, it lifts the lower tumbler, and the steel ball is pushed into the outer shell. At this point, turn the key 180 degrees, and the steel ball will fit right into the pre-cut groove in the lock head. When you pull out the key, the lock head will be caught by both the pin and the strip lock. Due to the notch at the front, the construction key cannot lift the pin and thus cannot unlock. But again, the cost to convert a construction key back to a master key is too low. So for safety, I advise you to change the lock after renovation.